Yeah, man! Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you seasoning, organic cooking seasoning. You will need 3 to 4 medium to large size onions. It should weigh 12 ounces. 2 to 4 stalks scallion. It should weigh 5 ounces. 8 garlic cloves. It should weigh 1 ounce. Springtime leaves, 2.5 tablespoons. 4 to 6 ripening Scotch bonnet pepper. It should weigh 1 ounce. 4 between 5 inches ginger root with skin. 1 teaspoon sage powder, optional. 1 teaspoon tarragon flakes. 1 tablespoon marjoram. You could use any of these herbs, dried or fresh. Chop it fine. 1.5 teaspoon oregano. 3.5 tablespoon rosemary leaves. Rosemary leaves or flakes. 2 tablespoons salt. I use sea salt. 3 tablespoons parsley flakes. 1.25 cup cooking oil. I use coconut oil. Visit JamaicanCookings.com for the recipe. First, clean and prepare vegetable seasonings. Scallion. Cut off scallion's root end. Cut off the tip of the leaf that is dying. Look for dying leaves and rip off it. Next, remove ripening Scotch bonnet pepper's stem. Just rip it off or break it off. You could use 1 green pepper with it. Measure 4 inches between 5 inches ginger root. Do not peel it. Springtime. We're going to wash the springtime with these other vegetable seasonings. Garlic. Peel garlic cloves. Trim spoilage. Get a plate ready. Put garlic on a plate. Now, peel onion. I like to cut the onion in half. It's easier to handle. Peel onion. Remove the brown skin. Remove the brown leaf. Remember now, the first layer of the onion is the best. Only throw it away if it is spoiled. Put onion on the plate as well. Rotting onions smells funky. This is what you do with an onion that is spoiled or spoiling. Throw it away. No, I'm kidding. Do this. Cut off the spoiling part of the onion and then use the good part of the onion. Get a big bowl or a container ready. Put vegetable seasonings into the bowl. Now, sprinkle several drops of distilled white vinegar on the vegetables. You could use 1.5 tablespoons of salt instead. Pour fresh water on it. We're going to wash the vegetable seasonings for the next step. Get a container ready. Put the washed vegetables in it. Wash the ginger last. Use your hand with your fingers. Rub the Scotch bonnet pepper skin clean and then give it a final rinse and then put it into the bowl. Use your fingers. Rub the thyme leaves clean. Give it a final rinse and then put it in the bowl. This is fresh tarragon. Use your fingers. Rub the tarragon's leaf clean. Give it a final rinse under fresh running water. Tarragon is optional. If you're using fresh herbs, wash it clean as well. No, this is rosemary, fresh rosemary. Use your fingers. Rub the rosemary's leaf clean. Then give it a final rinse. Put it in the bowl. Scallion. Look on the scallion well. Look for dirt. Use your fingers. Rub the scallion's leaf clean. It's best if you do this part under fresh running water and then give it a final rinse. Put it in the bowl. Sometimes the ginger is dirty and muddy. Break the ginger if need to. Now, use a small brush like this. Scrub the ginger's skin clean. That's why we washed it last. Use your fingers. Rub the skin of the ginger clean. Ensure to remove dirt or mud. Once you did that, give it a final rinse and then put it in the bowl. Clean and prepared vegetable seasonings. Put this aside. Go to the next step. Because we're gonna blend vegetable seasonings, you need to chop the vegetables fine. Grab hold of the scallion. Use a sharp knife. Put it on a chopping board. Shred scallion. You could use the cooking scissors like me. Shred scallion fine. Keep all the vegetable seasonings into one bowl. Why do we need to chop the vegetable seasonings before blending? So that it won't jam the blender. Chop onion in quarters or just chop it. We are using 2 tablespoons of spring thyme. So this is a tablespoon and this much makes 2 tablespoons. Do not use a tough stem. You just want to use the spring thyme, soft stem and the leaves. Shred spring thyme fine. Oh yes, you could use dried or fresh thyme. Chop the ginger as well. Put the peppers in the bowl. Put garlic cloves in the bowl. Next, put herbs on the plate. Shred tarragon. Shred the tarragon herb. Measure 1 teaspoon sage. Measure 1 teaspoon of sage and then put it on the plate. You could use sage powder or sage flakes. Marjoram flakes. Measure 1 tablespoon of marjoram and put it on the plate. Oregano. Measure 1 teaspoon and a half oregano and put it on the plate. Is it pronounced oregano as well? This is fresh rosemary. Remove the rosemary's leaf from the stem. You could use the tip, the soft stem. Measure 3.5 tablespoons of rosemary flakes and then put it on the plate. Parsley. Measure 3 tablespoons of parsley flakes and then put it on the plate. Measure 2 tablespoons of salt and then put it on the plate. I am using sea salt. Ensure to level off the spoon. Do not measure a mountain of salt. This is our clean and prepared vegetable seasonings and herbs. Cover it and put it aside. Go to the next step. Ensure to put on the blender's jar properly. Get a blender ready. Remove the lid's insert. Measure and add 1 cup and a quarter cooking oil. I am using coconut oil. And then add it into the blender. Pour the cooking oil in the blender. After that, use the blender's jar lid. Cover the jar properly. Use the lid's insert. Close it. Turn on blender. Remove the lid insert. Put the speed on low for now. Now, while it's blending, put the prepared, clean, chopped vegetable seasonings through the blender's insert in the blender in small proportion. The amount of liquid that we are using, which is the cooking oil, is sufficient. Do not add any more. Just allow it to blend smooth. Add the herbs. Add the dried herbs. Add the herbs and the salt with the other ingredients in the blender. Cover it well. Allow blending. Cover it. Allow it to blend 5 minutes on high speed. Turn off blender. Use a cooking fork. Stir this homemade organic seasoning in the blender. Whip the bottom to the top. Use the fork to feel if it's jamming on the bottom. Close the blender's jar lid. Continue blending. It will blend free like this. Nevertheless, if it jams and refuses to blend, just add a little bit more cooking oil. Allow this organic homemade seasoning to blend smooth. Allow it to blend 5 minutes on high speed. This is how it looks, blending. Do not open the lid, allow it to blend properly. After 3 minutes, now use a cooking fork Stir this homemade organic seasoning in the blender with the bottom to the top. Use the cooking fork to feel if it's jamming on the bottom. Do not ever put the spark in the blender while it is blending. It is not safe. I'm gonna taste it and let you know. This tastes like fresh seasoning. Truly, it tastes like fresh seasoning. Continue blending. Do not open the lid, allow it to blend properly. Get a clean container with a lid ready. You could use a Ziploc or you could use clean plastic bag. After time and the seasoning is blend smooth, turn off blender. No, remove the blender's lid. Get a clean container with a lid ready. You could use a Ziploc or you could use clean plastic bag such as this. Pour this organic homemade fried chicken seasoning into a clean bag or use a container with a lid. I got 2 between 3 cups of homemade organic fried chicken seasonings. Ensure to scrape out as much of the seasoning as you could. Seal container tight or tie the bag tight. After you pour the homemade seasoning into a container or a bag to preserve it, put it in the freezer for as long as ever. Use it until it's finished. This is organic homemade fried chicken seasoning. Visit JamaicanCookings.com for the recipe. You should try making this seasoning yourself. When you fry chicken with it and it tastes delicious, remember to come back and tell us about it. Leave a comment. You should share this video with everyone. This is organic homemade fried chicken seasoning. Do not worry about the oil that we're using to make this seasoning. It will work itself out while the chicken is frying. Until next time, walk good. Yeah, man! When this homemade seasoning is frozen, it will have a nice, beautiful green color. And it will be easy to break off a small piece to use when cooking. When you're gonna fry chicken, use 1 between 2 tablespoons for 2 or 3 chicken parts. This is all you need. You just add some salt on the chicken, pour the chicken seasoning on it. Use your fingers, rub seasoning on chicken. Ensure to coat it evenly. Massage the chicken seasoning on the chicken. Allow it to marinate overnight if possible. After that, you flour it and then fry the chicken crispy. Note, this homemade organic seasoning is for fried chicken. Use a tablespoon between 2 tablespoons as you would powdered seasoning. However, this organic homemade fried chicken seasonings is a great substitute for powdered seasonings. Therefore, you could use this instead to season any meal, to flavor any meal, to season up any meal. If you want, you could pour this homemade seasoning into ice cube trays. Cover it and then freeze it. When it's frozen solid, you could take it out, cut off what you want, and then put it back in the freezer. When you use this homemade organic fried chicken seasoning to fry chicken, ensure to wipe out the excess seasoning that's between the skin and the flesh. Ginger on fried chicken is delicious. You could use up to 6 inches. You could use 9 inches. In this recipe, you could use 9 inches. When I operated a restaurant, this is what I did, and it gave me delicious fried chicken. I have another video where I used water instead of oil. To me, that made the chicken took long to fry. You know, oil and water do not mix. The chicken took longer to fry. This method that I'm showing you today is the secret. You must try it.